Hi everybody, welcome to Freemotion Fridays with Kate Quinn. So here's the piece we've been working on for the last couple times. I'll kind of flip it around and show you. Today we're going to work on something fun, some M&Ms, and we also have some Skittles. And I'm going to show you how you can use these delicious little things to help you in your plan. So my husband has peanut M&Ms. I thought we would have regular M&Ms, so those ones are a little big, so I also have these. So let me show you what we got. So these are size helpers. That's what we're going to use these for. All right, and let me talk a little bit about A for Accentuate. So DRAFTS is our mnemonic, and a mnemonic is just a memory aid. That's the term for it, the definition of it. So A for Accentuate, we have a triangle shape. So let me get you guys a little better look at our shape there. Okay. And what we've done is we've made some initial straight lines with the ruler to accentuate the triangle shape, because you can see obviously we have a triangle, and then by splitting it into multiple triangles, we're re-emphasizing that that is triangular, that it has angles and things like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to develop some fills for those spaces. And these spaces are kind of small, and I think a small feather is a perfect fit to add a little softness to the angles and also to emphasize the shape. And I went ahead and I did it on paper so that we can start our practice there. So I'll scoot these guys over. I don't know what happened to this little guy. He's having a bad day. I'm sure he'll still be yummy. But let's scoot these off. We're going to sew in a minute, but we're going to develop the design here on paper really quickly. I'll do it this way. So here's the first triangle, and then we have some other spaces, and these are all conjoined. So, and this would make an amazing design just by itself, but the spaces that we're emphasizing here are these small triangles, and we would leave this center mark open. So let's talk about how we develop the triangles first. This triangle is 5 inches tall, but this angle right here makes this line longer than 5 inches. It's almost 6. So what I did here is I took this leg of the triangle and I put a ruler on it and I marked the center. And technically, since these sides are all the same, this should allow you to get right to the corner. So I divided this into these two triangles. And then I did the same thing here. I split the bottom leg in half and I made a line to the point. And I split this leg in half and I made a line to the point. Now this works if you have an equilateral triangle. That means each leg of my triangle is the same. So if you have isosceles, which is only 2 legs the same, it may not work out where each of these triangles are even. But I'm sure it would still look fine. It's not a big deal. So let's get our pencil first. Ooh. That pencil is not sharpened. All right, well, I guess we're going to have to use a pen. So if I mess up, I mess up. Okay, so the first one we're going to start with is, let's put our little circles up here so I can show you the concept. So you can do it like this. So this is just a little visual aid. We're actually going to draw this out in just a second. When you make a feather, your feather has a round component. And I think sometimes we don't realize that. I think this is going to be our big helper. So these are small, right? And we can put the circles on this inner side, or we can put them on the straight side. So we'll do both of that. And what I want is just initially leave a little space here because we want to make a feather, so we can't have the circle right there. So we'll put a little space and kind of make them touching. It's okay if they're not the same size. It's fine, it doesn't matter. And what this is this is a training aid. You're making your own little training aid, and you can leave a little gap there too. This is the spine, and here's how we're going to do it. We're just going to curve gently into that. And what you want here is you don't want to go around the circle, you want to touch right there. So that's kind of your stop, and you're going to come back right there. And here, now we can go around like that. And then we'll come up with this guy. And you're coming essentially back to the halfway of your circle. Okay, that's what makes this part of the feather round. And then we're here. And we're just going to curve back. And what we're looking for when we come to here is kind of like a little V right there. So maybe this guy needs to come in a little bit more. So there's the V right there. Okay, so here, we're going to come back from this part right here. So we're going to look ahead right there. We're looking out so we can go around. Whew, I got the shakes today, guys. So touch, come back, and there's our little circle, and we want our V. And this is a lot easier when we're actually sewing it. So you can see this guy's getting a little small right there, so maybe I want to make him bigger. And this is where your paper play is coming in. So if you need to revamp your circles, you can make them a little bigger if they're not working. So around. Now here's where we kind of get into trouble. This is the length right here. So maybe when we're coming out right here, what you want to do is arc out a little bit more, which will help to use up that space right there. Right, and then we'll come in, circle, and here I just like, sometimes I just kind of curve over to the end because there's not a lot of space there. So we're going to show you one where we put the circles right here, they're on the straight, and now we're going to do one where we kind of put them here. I think I'll make them a little bigger, they're a little bit small, so we'll make them bigger. And here you can even do, this can be your practice, do figure 8. Ooh, he's crazy. A little bit bigger. So this is good practice for your circles when you do Freemotion circles, right? So now we're going to do the opposite. So this is the angled side, so this is your spine. So curve in. This one's a little easier this way, I think. And then come in. Oh, it's very bumpy under there. Got to scoot over a little. Curve and spine. And this one right here, we got to kind of think of this. So these are all going to stretch back to here now when we do it this way, because this is kind of your center. So they're going to kind of stretch. That's how you're going to get your lobe in there like that. Curve. And here we can just stretch it over if we want to. So having those little circles right there can be a really great training aid. And this is definitely something that I do on paper. I do a lot of feathers on paper. And the challenge with a feather is the bigger that it is, the longer you have to stretch this. So it's really important that you actually practice on the approximate size that you want to do. And then I'm going to do one more development for you that you can try. And this can be either way. So here, if this is our center, we can make a little oval or a teardrop. You can even use a shape that you have right here, or just make an arc and make another arc, and that could be your center. And then here, this is where you can make your circles like this. And you don't even have to make that many because this is really small. So touch and come back and angle and then touch. And here you can just put your little balance in there. And this can be done, so you can see we did the circles on the angle side, but you could also do it where this is the lobe here, and then you did your circles this way. And then that can be your reference right there. So let's talk just about one or two more things before we sew. This tries to limit the amount of overstitching. The only overstitching you have is around your little circle, and then stitch, and then this guy, and there's your overstitch right there. So you get a very limited amount of overstitching on these little circles right here, which is nice for us that have trouble following. If you were somebody that really wanted that classic look, it's harder to come all the way back, but you can do that. And that is great practice for control. So the thing that I will tell you is if you want to do it this way, where you do your arc and you come all the way back, it adds a lot of definition, and you're going to have even stitching on every lobe. If you do that, here's the way you do it. Stitch in and back. If you want to stop, you stop there. You never stop in this motion. For the few seconds that you have this curvature and this curvature, your brain can remember that. Just for those few seconds. If I come in here and I stop and then I'm trying to stitch back, then I'll be following the line. Here, just let autopilot bring you in and out, in and out. Notice how I can trace over that move very easily right after I do it, and I can have essentially the same look. But if I stop and I have to think about it, that's when you start getting a lot of wonky lines. So those are two different ways that you can do it, and three different styles of feather. I will tell you that this is my favorite. So this is the one we're going to stitch out for you. And right here is where we're starting on the feather, right? And then we're sewing. So that would mean that I would start here and I would go this way and travel around, and then I would start that way. And that makes us have a nice flow to the process. And we could even integrate this stitching. So if I stitched this way and came back to here, I would do my feather, and then I would go around the triangle and back and feather, and around the triangle and back and feather. And that is your continuous flow for this design. All right, so let's go ahead. We'll sew. So these are my little size helpers. So let's just put those on there real quick, and I'll show you. So we are going to put ours this way. It looks even smaller in real life, doesn't it? It's kind of tiny. There you go, like that. And I would probably put one more circle right there. So here's the start, and we want that little bit of space right there. Okay, so we want to leave a little gap, maybe just a little finger or even 1.5 circles, because we're going to curve up into there. And then here I would put another one, and I'd leave the end. All right, so let's kind of draw that in so you can kind of see what we're doing. So this is a fat pen. We don't need something super skinny here. So just practice. You can see there's a little bit more resistance here with this one. Do your figure 8. We can try to put this one right in the center if you want to. So that's something that can kind of put this feather right here, right in the circle. So what you can do here is we can just make this guy bigger. We can just make him a little bigger, and we'll make this guy a little bigger. And that'll put this circle right in the middle because he's got a little more room. One, and we'll do one more. All right, so let's sew it out. Oh, what happened? A little tiny bobbin. All right, we'll just pull him gently. There we go. Remember to always bring your bobbin up from the bottom. We never want our bobbin dangling around on the bottom. And we'll tack this in. Just a few stitches. So I'm going to scoot up here. Now, let's turn it so you can see better. All right. You guys got a good view? Let's kind of scoot a little bit in. I love my fat pencil. I just saw that Di Werner commented on that. This one erases pretty easily. This is Bohème fat chalk pencil, and it has, you know, lots of, you just scoot it out. It's pretty fat, but it does erase nice. And here we don't really need a precise type of a look. So this is lets me kind of be fluffy. Remember that these are a guide. Once we start sewing, the feather below is the guide. So, you know, if we get off of the circle, you're just going to have to adjust from that. Okay? So let's move everything off so we have some room. So we want to look ahead so that we can arc right into this circle until we touch at this halfway point. All right, so let's get our ready, Speed Racer, go. Okay, so you're gonna just gently arc in there. And remember what I said, come back to that halfway. And then we can start going around. I went a little bit too far, but here's our next one. Go around, come back, and looking ahead, looking to this one. And remember we want to make this one just a little bigger so that we can touch. And there's our half. And we're going to try to round it out right in here, right in this apex of the triangle so we can fill it in. Nice. Get it round. So don't stop right there. Go back to your half. And I think I have enough room for one more. And then here we can just kind of go like that. So let's see how we did. Let's erase some of this so we can kind of see how we're doing. What do you think? Does that look good? So it's okay if they're not perfect. You can see this guy needs a little more curvature right there. He's a little bit slack. So this is what you want. You've got to make sure that you're coming around, making him a little round. He kind of flattened out, but all of that is practice. You're going to get better and better with practice. And so this is our start right here. So when I come around this corner, this is going to be my new start. Okay, so we'll just free motion ourselves right over to our new start. And now I want you to start, maybe you can use a little less visuals as you go. Okay, and then this right here, there's a circle right in here. So then this is the next space, the next space, the next space. So once you get that circular piece of it, once you get comfortable with the circle, then you can maybe mark some less markings. Make sure you curve that one. Make sure that he's curvy. So this one will kind of like tuck him in right there. There we go. So there's the half circle right there. Maybe one more stitch. We want to make sure that we come down from this line right here, because otherwise we can't go up and curve into the next one. If we don't have a little space where we've come down, then we don't have any room to make it curvy. And here we'll do the last one, and then we'll just curve this one over. Oh! Let's see, we didn't get you a very good view that time, huh? So there you go. Okay, so I think that if you start with the little circles, that's great practice. It's really good on paper. And you can put a piece of document protector, like you can make your shape on a piece of paper, make it whatever shape you want, put it in a document protector and use our fabulous dry, you can even use dry erase or vis-a-vis. You can practice the shape, wipe it off, practice it again, wipe it off, practice it again. So habit development, it takes about 20 times or something like that for you to develop that flow. Another thing that I've said many times is, you know, people have their own style. If you look online, if you look on Pinterest, you'll see like 20 or 30 different styles of feathers, right? And maybe when you look at it, you say, oh, I don't like that one, but I like that one. That one's really pretty. So pick something that you like and stick that feather in that document protector and trace that a bunch of times. So I've showed you 2 different paths. There are more. This is a very short class. We can't do every feather out there, but over time, I'll try to develop some other feathers as we go. So this one right here where you come back over the top and you do the next one, that's called the bump back method. And then where you would sew the whole shape and come back to the beginning and sew the next one and all the way back to the beginning, those ones are called the classic style. Those are classic original feathers where you would trace the whole feather and then do the next shape and the next shape and the next shape. So those are just 2 that we've developed for today. And you can see how those will really emphasize the triangle shape. And because we have the alternating start and stop, they also create some rotational movement because it kind of goes one into the other. Whereas if we had, let me show you. If we change that, so this is our triangle, and we had this one start here and go here, and this one, let's scoot it up. Okay, so here's the center triangle. If we started here and went up, and we started here and went up, and we put that center loop and went out here and the center loop and went out there, then that makes more of a soldier triangle. This one is standing upright and tall, and then this would be the base, and these would accent the lift of the triangle, whereas ours keeps everything nice and even and keeps it very symmetrical from side to side by doing it the way that we did. So really quick, I'm just going to look through and see if we have some questions. And I'll say some hi to some people. Hi, Jeannie Hart. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Di. Hi, Nana. Your quilt is amazing. Oh my God, it is so beautiful. We posted that on our Getting Started with Westerly Rulers. Nana has finished her fun and fancy quilt sampler and quilted it, and it is amazing with fabulous colors. So go check that out on our group site. And so, yeah, so Brenda, I'll put the name of the pen that I used, the fat one, this one right here. And you can see these lines were fat too. So I do use a lot of white for marking, comes off pretty easily. This one does. This is Bohim, B-O-H-I-M, I think. It's French brand, but it's pretty commonly available. So I'll put the name in there. And then, hi, Inga, thank you for being here. So I appreciate you guys being here. So I will go ahead and I'll post this now. And our mnemonic is DRAFTS, D-R-A-F-T-S. And I lost my mind. I can't remember what F is. It's not a very good mnemonic if I can't remember. But join us next week to find out. So we'll be posting this on Facebook too, if you have some on YouTube as well, on my YouTube channel. So if you have some friends that don't do Facebook, I would ask that you please share that with them, that'll be posted on YouTube as well. So have a wonderful day. Join me on Sunday for the apple core template, which is the request of one of our viewers, Di Warner. And I've got some fantastic designs for that. So I'll give you a little sneak preview since you guys are here. So this is some of the designs that we have with our apple core. Let's bring it out so we can give you a better view. And you guys, I have to welcome my sister-in-law, Pam Pallarito. Quinn, she is watching. It's so exciting. I miss her terribly. We don't get to see each other very often, but we have kids all the same age, which is really fun. So you can see this is a really cute flourish that we've built here with our apple core. We have a center motif, and then we have a cool border over here. And we'll be sharing those Sunday at 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on the So Steady Facebook group, Facebook page. All right, thanks guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.